So hello and welcome to part 5 of the Bram Stoker's Dracula restore. So in this video I'm finally in a position where I can basically remove the playfield from the cabinet. I wasn't looking forward to doing this, and I listened to a lot of advice in the community on Pinball Info, where people have said the various techniques they've done. Also watched a couple of videos online. General consensus I came back with was get the cabinet onto a dolly, and then basically take the legs off, lower it down so it's pretty much on the floor, and then lift it out, because you don't have to then work against a lot of height, which for someone like me, I'm like 5'10", not very tall. It makes it difficult for me, at least when it's at its on its legs, to basically then lift it up. You'd think the cabinet was the heaviest part, but I'll be honest with you, the cabinet weighs nothing. Like when you've got nothing in it, like the transformers removed, and that is so easy. It's just wood, it's really light. It's not like oak or anything as well. I think it's like, I don't know, plywood or something like that. It's super light. So here I'm just basically taking the legs off, making sure that I'm not trying to shake the machine off while doing it, because obviously it's propped up at the moment on the dolly. You can see the damage on the cabinet now that the legs have been removed. This is why I would say it's super important. Whenever you buy a machine, buy yourself some leg protectors, because you can see with this one where it's had years of people taking the legs on and off of it. When they've clamped it on, they've really put some pressure and it's dug right into the cabinet. That was quite a sod for us to restore and get rid of all that damage. I'll show you in the future videos, the process here of us basically not just redecaling or redecal the playfield, but the cabinet, sorry, but also basically restoring the cabinet so that it doesn't have any rough edges or huge dents inside the wood. So the last leg's coming off now. I'm like preparing my wife to help me to lift the playfield out, so that she can basically be there to kind of be an extra pair of hands to ensure that when I go to lift this out. I've watched some people do it on their own. They've obviously got height on their hands, on their side, I should say, and they're obviously stronger than I am. I would say that if you can, and if you do this yourself, definitely get somebody to help you. It's too much risk, I'd say, doing it on your own. So at this point, I'm just kind of moving the cabinet forward with the assistance of my wife to make sure that it doesn't catch on the back of the arm of the dolly, because unfortunately this dolly wasn't really designed for pinball machines. It's more designed as a lifting tool for other things other than pinball machines. Anyway, so here we are. This is basically us with the pinball machine on the near enough on the floor. I'm now basically lifting it to a point where I can get it past the arms. So basically there's two hooks at the bottom side, one on the left, one on the right, which then go into these like pivots that normally stop you from lifting the playfield out. And they sort of latch in and then allow you to pivot the machine up so it can rest against the back box. In this case, I'm purposely going past that and putting it onto what I call the ski guides, which are basically like these metal legs that are on the back end of the playfield, so it's like upright. And at this position, I'm just kind of shuffling it forward a bit on against the wooden shelf that's on the playfield, getting ready to lift it out. And my wife's basically at this point just aligning some of the mats we've got for the playfield to make sure that when it goes onto the wall, it doesn't have to land straight onto the floor and potentially scratch the floor, or worst case scenario, fall as well and hit the playfield and smash God knows what. So at least it's going onto some soft mats. So this is me then bracing myself to lift it out and realizing how bloody heavy it is. You can see from my face, I'm just like, oh God, what have I put myself into? And I'm trying to at this point grab the wiring while trying to hold the bottom, and my fingers are slipping. I've barely got my middle and index finger at one point holding the bottom of the playfield, and I'm getting my wife to try and fish the wire out so it doesn't catch as we're moving out. It was very touch and go at one point. I was I was a bit scared. I'm not gonna lie. We did get it off though. At this point, unfortunately, it's off camera, but we're just basically just talking each other through as we lower it down. We laid the playfield on its side, so that basically it's resting against the wall, rather than basically, how can I put it, just like going straight down on the bottom. Because of course, if you did that, you're putting all the pressure on whatever's lying underneath, and that could be anything, right? Coils, lights. All the lugs on the coils could end up being snapped. You just don't want to do that. If you can, when you lay your playfield out, you should try and do it so that either it's propped up in the air on the corners, and if you can't do that, just do what we did. Place the playfield on its side. This one's much better at doing that because it's got quite a large amount of like what I would call playfield decorations. So like there's like the village and stuff like that, and not to mention there's a metal side rail, so it's quite reinforced. So it's much easier to kind of prop it that way. So here I'm just like, there you go. So that's it on its side there. It's just safer that way, and we propped it against the wall so it wasn't going to go anywhere. And that just stopped it from being damaged, and it worked. You know, that definitely was the better call. Took the coffin mod off. That's a specific mod that you can get for the game, and again, unfortunately, it's not made anymore. But I'm glad we got it when we found this machine. And that's the cabinet with the playfield removed. Obviously, still a chunk of wiring left. But that's it for part 5. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.